This is President Trump. Smash the like button if you believe that Adam Cole will take a step backwards in all elite wrestling this year and become a permanent mid-card guy.
So here's my list of all the fake pro wrestlers that will take a step backwards in the year of 2025. So the first person on my list, it is Sasha Banks. And here's why. When it comes to female fake pro wrestling, Tony Khan Man is not a fan of fake female pro wrestling because he don't give women long title reigns multiple times in a row. He gives them maybe one great title run and then they fall off. Ask Britt Baker, ask Jamie Hayter, ask Thunder Rosa, and currently ask Big Booty Toy Storm. What about Chris Ashlander? What about Willow Nightingale? He gives you one great title run and then you fall off and you go back to that mid-card. That's going to be Sasha Banks. Yes, if you ask Con Man, he will say Sasha Banks had a great year last year, but that's going to be her only great year. This year, she's going to fall off and she is going to take a step backwards on that card. I guarantee it. If Dr. Britt Baker took a step backwards, then Sasha Banks is. If Jamie Hayter took a step backwards, then Sasha Banks is. The moment Sasha drops that belt, she's going to take a step backwards and she is going to be on the decline. Just like all women on that roster, the moment they drop that title. For example, Thunder Rosa had that one great title run, maybe in year 2 of All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. And now she is a mid-carder. Now Thunder Rosa is a job girl. Whose fault is that? That's Con Man's fault. He gives you one great title run and then you go back to being a job girl. He don't take female fake pro wrestling seriously. I guarantee it, this year, Sasha Banks is going to take a step backwards because Con Man is going to realize that Sasha ain't no damn draw. Sasha is the female version of Chris Jericho. He's going to wake up. Also, Tony Khan Man, he also does that to the men. Look at Omega. Omega had that one great title run. And since then, Omega has held no championships since then. I think in the year of 2024, that's going to be Sasha Banks' most successful year in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling, similar to Chris Jericho. The best year of Chris Jericho was year 1 of All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. So yes, I do believe that Sasha Banks will take a step backwards the moment she drops that belt to one of the females on that roster. Who's next on my list? It is Adam Hangman Page. Now, I feel like Adam Page had a great year last year, but I would say Adam Page had an awful month of December. Man, that was an awful month. Adam Page also had an awful month in November. It just feels like Con Man got bored with Adam Page. He got bored with his push. Because ever since he beat Swerve, man, Adam Page has not done a damn thing. Adam Page has been a low-key job guy. I don't get it. Adam Page was money with that TA Magnum gimmick. I don't get it. Adam Page, he keeps on losing. Ever since he beat Swerve, he keeps on taking L's to Dean Ambrose, Jay White. He keeps on getting pinned. It's like Bray Wyatt all over again. How do you drop the ball on Adam Page? That was a great feud with him and Swerve Scott. But Adam Page has not done a damn thing since that feud. I don't get it. Like I said, I think Adam Page will take a step backwards this year. And it's all Con Man's fault. I think Con Man got bored with Adam Page. I don't get it. How do you go from burning down Isaiah Swerve Scott's house to being a job guy 2 months later? I don't get it. How do you beat Isaiah Swerve Scott in a steel cage match and then he puts over Jay White? I'm like, hold on, man. You can't beat Jay White, but you can beat Isaiah Swerve Scott, a former world champion. You can't make that make sense. The more Con Man fumbles the ball on Adam Page, the crowd will turn on Adam Page. They will get bored with Adam Page. They will not believe in Adam Page anymore. The more Con Man buries him, I guarantee it, he will take a step backwards this year, thanks to Tony Khan Man's dumbass booking. Who's next on my list? It is MJF. I think Max will have a down year. I think Max will be on the decline this year. because Max is getting boring. He is getting repetitive. He is the same guy from year one. He has not evolved. The more you do that, the crowd will turn on Max in a bad way. Yes, Max is a heel, but who cares? You can have go away heat. Even as a heel, Max, he fell off. Let this sink in. It feels like people are more excited about Pentagon Jr. joining the World Wrestling Federation over Max. I have ears. People are telling me that they don't care if Max ever goes to the World Wrestling Federation. Nobody was saying that 2 years ago. What destroyed Max was that dumbass tattoo and the fact that he worked people. I feel like the World Wrestling Federation, they were never interested in Max. They said it. They were never interested in Max. There was never a bidding war. He worked con man. Yes, about 2 years ago, fans were excited about the prospects of Max being on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, etc. Now, they don't care. Hell, fans want to see Kyle motherfucking Fletcher in the World Wrestling Federation. Fans want to see Powerhouse Hobbs in the World Wrestling Federation. Nobody cares about Max. That's crazy. How do you fall off that quickly, that hard? The fact that Dirty Ass Dominic has surpassed MJF, that's called a downfall. Let's speak facts. Kyle motherfucking Fletcher will surpass Max this year. That's what I mean by Max will take a step backwards this year. Guys like Jack Perry, guys like Kyle motherfucking Fletcher will surpass him as heels this year in that upper tier midcard. I feel like right now, Max is a midcard guy. Max is a midcard guy with a big name. That's what he is. Imagine being that young and he fell off. That's crazy. He's that young, but he fell off. And I don't think he's ever going to get back his name value. And it's all his fault. Why? He has not evolved. Like I said, Dirty Ass Dominic is better. Dominic changes every year. Dominic evolves. Hell, Kyle motherfucking Fletcher has evolved. Listen, the audience has spoken. They are over Max. The fact that Max is fighting Adam Coleslaw in that midcard, let that sink in. That means Max is a midcard guy. I feel like it's all his fault. That dumbass tattoo, that fake ass bidding war, and the fact that he don't want to evolve his character. I'm like, bro, you are going to be left behind and you are going to become a nostalgia act. That's what he is. Max is all nostalgia. Every promo that Max cuts, it's the same verbiage, the same trash talk. Oh, I fucked your sister. Oh, this is a hick town. I'm like, man, this is cheap heat. I just feel like Max is boring and Max will be exposed this year. He will take a step backwards this year, thanks to Kyle motherfucking Fletcher. Who's next on my list? It is Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest will take a step backwards. I think Damian Priest will be on the decline this year. I guarantee it. Because it feels like the only thing he's good at is feuding with the Judgment Day. That's the only thing that he's good at, is beefing with Finn Balor and Dirty Ass Dominic and JD McDonough. That's all he's good at. I feel like Damian Priest is useless because how come he keeps beefing with the Judgment Day? That's the only thing he's good at, is beefing with Finn Balor and Dirty Ass Dominic and JD. That's the only thing he's good at. That means he's boring. Because why can't you beef with somebody else? You are still beefing with Finn Balor? Bro, it's been a whole year now. It's like, we gotta move on. Triple H thinks that if Damian Priest is not involved with his old faction, that fans will get bored with Damian Priest. That's facts. That's why Triple H is not ready for Damian Priest to move on from Finn Balor, JD, Dirty Ass Dominic. He's not ready because he knows Damian Priest is boring. So the moment that Damian Priest officially moves on from his old faction, man, he is going to be a mid-card guy. He will never be in the main event scene ever again. I think Damian Priest will be on the decline this year. I see Damian Priest taking tons of L's this year. I think Damian Priest will be a one-time world champion. Who's next on my list? It is Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn will take a step backwards this year because last year, man, I think Sami Zayn peaked. He peaked his potential. I believe that Sami Zayn, he hit his ceiling and his peak last year. I think that was the biggest year that Sami Zayn is ever going to have because he beat Gunther. He beat Gunther. He was the first guy to pin Gunther on the main roster. I think Sami Zayn has peaked because he can't beat Drew Mac. So, hold on. You can beat Gunther, but you can't beat Drew Mac or Roman Reigns. So, Triple H, he is trying to tell you that Sami Zayn has a ceiling. Sami Zayn has peaked. He is not on the same level as Roman and Drew Mac, the Mac Daddy. I think Sami Zayn will take a huge step backwards. I see Sami Zayn putting over a lot of guys this year, but I wouldn't say Sami Zayn is going to be a jobber. No, I don't think Sami Zayn will be a jobber, but he will put over a lot of big names this year. I don't see Sami Zayn having the same year that he had last year. It's not going to happen. He peaked, just like Kofi. I think that was his Kofi Kingston light year, was last year. He beat Gunther. I feel like that was his biggest career highlight, and he's never going to repeat that highlight. So, who will Sami Zayn face at this year's WrestleMania? Most likely, it will be Kevin Owens. And I feel like Kevin Owens should beat Sami Zayn at this year's WrestleMania. Who's next on my list? It is Roman Reigns. I think Roman will take a huge step backwards this year. I think Roman will have the Brock Lesnar role, the same role that Cowboy Brock had. I think Roman will be Cowboy Brock when it comes to his booking. For example, the last match that Cowboy Brock had, it was against Cody Rhodes, and we have not seen Brock ever since. But that year, Brock was losing. Brock was putting people over. He was no longer a main event guy. I think that's going to be Roman. I think it's time for Roman to put over guys like Fatu, Solo. It's time for Roman to put over younger talent. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Roman is old. No, Roman is not old. I'm just saying I think it's time for Roman to put over younger talent, like a Braun Breaker, guys like Trick Williams, guys like Femi. I feel like Roman is trying to go Hollywood. Roman wants to be a Hollywood actor. So I feel like, bruh, on your way out, you should put people over, like Jacob Fatu, guys like Solo, etc. I'm not saying that Roman should be a jobber. No, I'm not saying Roman should be a jobber. All I'm saying is Roman should put over guys that have potential to be superstar main eventers. This year, Roman Reigns is going to face CM Punk at SummerSlam. That's what I mean. And obviously, that's going to be a non-title match. Both guys are not going to be champions. So that's what I mean by Roman will take a step backwards this year. Roman will not chase after any championships this year. So yes, Roman will take a step backwards. Who's next on my list? It is the Young Bucks. I think the Bucks will take a step backwards this year because All Elite fake pro wrestling, they don't need the Bucks. I believe that the Bucks will take a step backwards this year in All Elite fake pro wrestling. I will be shocked if the Bucks become tag team champions again this year. I will be shocked because All Elite fake pro wrestling, they don't need the Bucks to be champions. I believe that it's time for the Bucks to put people over. And most importantly, the crowd don't care about the Bucks. So I feel like Con Man will not push the Bucks as top guys in that tag team division. Who's next on my list? It is Super Thick Bayley. I think Bayley will take a huge step backwards this year. Based on her last title run, I feel like, man, that was a very underwhelming championship run that she had last year after WrestleMania. I think Bayley will fade into that midcard on SmackDown or Raw if she gets drafted. But yes, I think super thick Bayley will take a huge step backwards. I don't think Bayley is going to have a big year this year. I think Bayley will take a step backwards for girls like Jade Cargill, girls like Chelsea Green, women like Tiffany Stratton. She will take a huge step backwards for those females. Who's next on my list? It is Adam Coleslaw. Adam Coleslaw will be a mid-card guy this year. I guarantee it. He is not going to sniff the main event. Okay, let's say Adam Coleslaw challenges for the world title. Trust me, he's not going to win it. I think Conman, he low-key sees Adam Coleslaw as a mid-card guy. I don't think Tony Conman sees Adam Coleslaw as a main eventer. He is a mid-card guy. I feel like Adam Coleslaw will flirt with the main event scene, but he will go back to that mid-card this year. Adam Coleslaw will take a step backwards this year. Conman is not going to push Adam Coleslaw. The fact that he's back with fucking Kyle O'Reilly, he's back with fucking Right Strong. Conman sees him as a mid-card guy based on that logic. Why are you still hanging out with Roddy and Kyle? I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, bruh, this is not 2018. This is not 2019. Those days are over. Move on. How come Adam Coleslaw always has to be in a faction? I was the first guy to call that out. That Adam Coleslaw, he's boring. If he is not in a faction, that's facts on facts. So yes, I do believe that Adam Coleslaw will take a huge step backwards this year. Hell, I see him getting beaten by Kyle motherfucking Fletcher. That's what I mean. Guys like that. Adam Coleslaw will put guys over this year. I guarantee it. Who's last on my list? It is LA Cosplay. Man, I am so excited about this pick because this is validation, right? This is validation. I told you that Shinsuke was going to beat LA Cosplay for that US Heavyweight Championship. LA Cosplay was the worst US champion of all time. That's why Shinsuke Nakamura beat him that fast. That's why Shinsuke buried LA Cosplay in that match, because Triple H don't like LA Cosplay. The fact that LA Cosplay is teaming up with Apollo Crews, bro, let that sink in. LA Cosplay is teaming up with Apollo Crews, a well-known job guy. What does that tell you? That Triple H got bored with LA Cosplay and now he's done with him. Triple H is done with LA Cosplay. It's over. He will be a mid-card jobber this year. I guarantee it. He will put over guys this year on SmackDown or Raw. But it's over. Like I said, he was a flash in the pan. Why? Because fans have moved on to Jey Uso. What does that tell you? That LA Cosplay was just a fad. I knew that his 15 minutes were going to be up very soon. Why? Because he's not Jey Uso. Let's just be honest. LA Cosplay, he is just a Rocky Maivia ripoff. He is just a Steve Austin ripoff. And also, he sucks in the ring. That's why Triple H gave back the US Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura for that fact alone. Like, honestly, I think the next time Carmelo Hayes faces LA Cosplay, I think that Carmelo is going to beat LA Cosplay clean one-on-one.